welcome. We are at IIT Delhi, where the Entrepreneurship and Development Cell of the institution is hosting a startup weekend. It's a global event that brings together students from many different colleges. Some might be coders, marketing enthusiasts, design enthusiasts, future entrepreneurs, and they all come together. They have 54 hours to create a prototype. We're going to talk to them a bit about the event and what they think it means to be an entrepreneur in India. I'm going to start with you since you're organizing the event. Why are such events important?
So in general, EDC organizes various such events throughout the year, and we believe that it's very important to boost up the culture of entrepreneurship in India. And India is a major hub it's a recent major hub for attracting a lot of venture capital, especially from a lot of foreign firms. So I'd like to pass over to these guys and see what their experience is till now.
Yeah.
So.
How's it been so far?
Yeah, it's a good platform to network with others, so you can't do everything on yourself. So if you are having an idea, so within 54 hours you can build a prototype. It's not the entire business model, and you can see others what they are doing, other creative ideas
Learn
also.
from them as well. Rohit, how's the response been for such an event? Do you feel that there are more students coming who are interested in taking part?
The response has been huge.
Yeah?
It's better than any event in India that has been organized. Any startup weekend. This is the biggest startup weekend that's happening in India so far. So
let me ask someone from this side, why have you come to the event? Why is such an event important to you?
So I've come because I wanted to get to know other young entrepreneurs and share ideas, learn from others, get some new insights, and just build a network and get in contact with other people that can help you build your ideas.
What about someone else?
Being an entrepreneur is my dream. So I really wanted a platform to start with. And I think probably this is the best platform I can start with to grow, to have an experience how a startup can look like, and how can we work upon the startup and how we go about it. So that in future I have some good contacts with these people, so many people that are around me and with vast amount of knowledge and experience. So probably this can help me in actually starting my program basically.
What I think, a lot of people, they have great ideas. That's why they kind of want to become an entrepreneur. But what I think about what's great about the startup weekend is that it brings people together and actually gets them to do, make a prototype, because a lot of people have ideas but they don't actually
know how to put it together.
Yeah, they don't put it together, or they're scared because of all the risks. And this actually gets people connected who have all the skills, and therefore really helps people to actually becoming an entrepreneur.
Besides learning how to create a prototype and working with a team, networking, what are some other skills that such an event teaches you?
This event tells us that what idea we are sharing in this event is feasible or not. It will be workable in a market or not. We get a lot of response from the audience, and we get feedback whether our idea will work in the market or not. I have come from Dehradun, Graphic Area University. It's giving me a platform where I can share my ideas, get a feedback from the people. We meet various people from various parts of the country, and they tell us what are the new trends going in the market, and it gives us lots of motivation skills and etc.
Same group of people all working towards the same goal. What's your experience been like?
Prior to this event, I had this idea. I was implementing this idea that I pitched here, but I did not have the right people to implement this. I had this idea in place. I was implementing it, but somehow things were not working out. So my idea of here was to take others' perspective on this idea and see whether this idea is implementable in real world or not, and then probably take it to a higher level, or not just leave it as a startup.
But you said that there have been lots of people who've been taking part in this event. What do you think it is about events like this, or about entrepreneurship in general, that in the past few months or maybe years we've seen a huge host of people moving towards it? Why do you think that is?
Basically, I belong to a small state of Bastar from Chhattisgarh. It is a very small state, and people like me are getting this opportunity to share such a big platform with other people which belong to their technocrats from all around the world, which are sharing their ideas. From that, I can learn, and I can learn how to express my ideas and how to scale up the whole idea. Is it feasible or not? I can get it from done from others.
What I feel is, in India, there has been recently a trend of venture capitalists coming in, or angel investor coming in and investing. Let's say, for example, freechat.com. Recently, it had so much of amount coming in as an investment from a venture capitalist. So people, what I feel is right now they are investing. Let's say Tata's. These are big firms investing in startups. So probably that is something that is giving us a high, so that we can actually start our own idea, not indulge into office hour schedule, and probably do what we want to.
There's a change in like mindset of the people too. Instead of like being a job seeker, nowadays the youth of India wanted to be a job generator. So there are a lot of social issues playing around us, and we have been observing things around. There have been big social movements in order to like work on these issues. So I think entrepreneurship is one of the way in which like we can like tackle these issues, and like youth are having the Indian youth is full of motivation and the power to actually find solution to any of the problems. So this kind of platform also, apart from like networking and exchange of ideas, it provides the youth like us the confidence that if he can work, then I can also work. A confidence, mutual confidence with each other, so that like we can also work on our own ideas and make India the next superpower.
How much is entrepreneurship about the willingness to take a risk or that leap of faith with something that you don't know if it will work out or not, but I'm still going to give it a try?
Okay, so entrepreneurship is about taking a risk. It is about a leap of faith that you have on your idea. As a young entrepreneur myself, I do have taken some risks for executing an idea, but still in these days, a lot of community in the corporate sector or in general, a lot of MNCs, they respect entrepreneurs. In fact, you talk about business schools, they especially have sections in which you can share your idea or your stories that you have, even if the startup fails or if it's an unsuccessful venture, still a lot of people are hiring you. There are VC firms coming in who need experienced people to invest in startups. They need experienced people who have successfully or unsuccessfully run some ventures to guide them in the way of investing. So there are some really nice, interesting niches that are coming up for people who have either failed who are failed entrepreneurs or have maybe unsuccessful ventures also. So the risk is pretty less these days, in my opinion.
Risk is less. Does anyone have a different opinion on that?
Yeah, I'd like to add something.
Yeah.
So basically, for entrepreneurs, it is said that they jump down a cliff and then they build the plane on the way down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's about starting, right? You start away, and then you can learn everything on your way toward your dream, right? For entrepreneurship is just like building something from scratch and then probably seeing it growing like your own baby. Yeah, it gives you. For me, it gives me happiness. It's a sense of happiness for me. That's all I like.
I think the most important thing nowadays is people who start businesses, they don't just take a risk, but they try to calculate that kind of risk. So that's why we try to the good thing is to get people together and they can calculate the risk that they're taking and try to minimize it as much as they can.
And you feel that the risk is less these days?
Of course, it always depends on the idea and the amount of effort put into it. And the more in depth that you look into an idea, and then the more you work on developing the idea, the more that you can identify the risks and try to avoid them at all costs.
Everything we do has some amount of risk. The fact with this startup is like this amount, this percentage is more. So even if we fail, but we'll learn. So next time we do that, we won't do that. We won't fail. So that's what I believe about this risk.
We still have fair amount of risk in startups. Say if you are a student or if you are graduate, then the amount of risk is really low because you are studying as well as you are trying your idea. But as I have close to a decade of experience in IT industry, I had to quit my job for this startup. So risk is a subjective word. So for few guys, it's small amount of risk. Few guys, it's risk. But I would like to say that at the end of the journey, it's worth it.
An entrepreneur works on an idea when he sees a problems. So his idea is basically a solution to that problem. An entrepreneur believes in that idea and he wants to solve that problem. So that's why he's willing to take that risk, and that's why we have so successful startups. So risks do exist, but if you're actually willing to solve the problem that the idea is solving, so those risks appear minimal to the person who is doing that startup. So that's why we have those startups.
This is my second startup weekend actually, and I've always been like the kid helping out people and all those things, freelancing. I didn't actually know that what actually startup environment was. So it's actually startup environment and entrepreneurship. It's actually a way of lifestyle. It's not a career path. It's a lifestyle. It's a complete lifestyle. It's about how the society perceives you and how you perceive yourself to be. And also like it's not about also risk taking. It's about how passionate you are and dedicated you are to do something to the world, to make a difference, to make a statement. That's it. Like simple. It doesn't have to make. It's not necessary that you have to make millions of dollars or something like that. Just at the end of the day, you should be content that you made a difference. And somewhere, some corner of the earth, like someone is benefited from what you've done. That's what makes. That's the actual difference we're trying to make here.
Many times you explain your idea and then someone asks a critical question and then you're like, huh, I had not thought about this, and then you start thinking and thinking again and improving your idea, and after talking to 10 or 20 people, your idea just keeps getting better and better and better.
Let me just get a feel for the entire group. What makes you want to become an entrepreneur? Why is it that you're here?
Being in like startup environment, getting to know with people, I got to know how to market stuff. Basically, like how to sell ice to Eskimos. That's the best skill I mean, that's the best thing I've learned from all the people and entrepreneurs. And apart from that, also like I said, dedication. Like how willing are you to put effort and time?
So is it a bit about training yourself as well to be able to handle all these things?
Yeah, training, and also yes, sociologically, I'm also getting to know get to know a lot of people. Apart from that, I can go and connect to anyone who I want to. So being an entrepreneur is not like, it doesn't have any kind of discrimination. An entrepreneur is a global citizen. So I can go and talk with anyone because I know that he needs me.
Talk to us a bit about how exactly is the event structured. What will happen and how will students develop a prototype in 54 hours? That's not enough at all, actually.
Yeah, it is not, but I believe we have some very hardworking people out here, and to guide people, we have a lot of mentors pouring in. So like this time, a lot of mentors will come up. They are very successful entrepreneurs, some people from venture capital firms, some really interesting startup mentors. So they will basically help people, guide them through the working prototype, and will help them validate their ideas through a really exhaustive market research. And with a lot of experience, people, you can actually get their idea from a seed idea to a working prototype. And tomorrow we also have some really cool judges coming up, so they will validate again your ideas, and if some ideas are really cool, so they get some funding in terms of physical incubation, etc.
Someone is at home watching this and they say, okay, this is a problem that I see in, for example, e-commerce, and this is my solution to solve it. How should they move from that step? How do they take it forward?
You should go and read Lean Startup by Eric Ries. So, so it's available free online. Like you can just 296 page book. You can have a look at this. It guides you to step-by-step process of creating your hypothesis and validating it. Then so it's a very really cool book, and I think the entire event is also based on this lean thing. So it's basically came from the lean manufacturing which Henry Ford implemented in.
What does it mean to create a hypothesis and solve it when it comes to the startup ecosystem and the startup that someone might have in mind? How do they do that? How do you take an idea and create an hypothesis? Can you just take us through the steps, basically, is what I'm saying?
After you have an idea, so first thing you should do a thorough market research. You should study what other companies or other startup are doing which have the similar idea. So if there is another company, you should not worry, but you should have your unique vision, which is how you are solving the problem in different way or more efficient way.
I'm sure also learn from their mistakes, what they did, what didn't work in the market.
What their mistakes they are making that you can avoid.
I think the social media which is available to each and every part of the world, I think it will help others to generate. They can socialize with people and they can talk about their idea, how they can implement it and talk with friends and others and get their idea and make that idea some more feasible.
Yeah, go ahead. Pass the mic, we'll come here. Yeah.
I would actually like to give you a macroeconomic perspective on this. What I felt was, in India, in the last year, if you see, the manufacturing, what should I say, the share of manufacturing sector in the GDP was very less. You can look at the PMI index for that. So, if we see, 90% of the startups are focusing on the tertiary sector, because we can easily create a website, we can easily create a platform, and not much money is involved in that. So probably we can have more startups coming in the manufacturing sector, so that new things could be evolved. Rather than just focusing on the tertiary sector, we should also focus on the manufacturing sector, but that would only help when we have an angel investor investing in our venture. Because in our own capabilities, when I'm an undergraduate, in my own pocket money, I cannot start a startup I cannot start manufacturing a product, obviously. That would require a lot of capital for that. So probably more angel investors and venture capitalists should come and help startups in the manufacturing sector apart from the tertiary sector. That is one thing that is lacking in India.
You had a point.
Coming back to how to develop an idea, I think the most important thing and what a lot of people are scared to do is just to share idea with other people. When you have an idea, it's very important to just share it with people, and they will give critical feedback, and that way just the idea develops and you find problems that you didn't see and other people just spotted, and that's the best way to just develop an idea. And
so keep that in mind if you're someone who has an idea that you're hoping will turn into a full-scale venture. We're going to slip into a short break. When we come back, we're going to discuss some of the challenges that entrepreneurs face in India.